Hello everyone, how we all keep? Happy Patrick's Day. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you're going to come in and say hello, that you're not all out drinking on this St. Patrick's night. Because it is St. Patrick's night, we might keep it short. We might keep it down to about half an hour, 40 minutes. We'll wait and see. We'll wait, people start arriving and people start showing up. So what's been happening? Well, disappointing. No, it's a disappointing week this week. I'm getting stuff ready for the UK Living History UK Festival in April, 22nd and 23rd. So that's been busy. I did bid on one or two things on eBay and stuff like that, but unfortunately I lost the bids. They were gone out of my price range, so I wasn't going to get too expensive about it. I was talking to my friend Danny Reese today, and hopefully we will be doing a podcast in the near future on the Living History UK one about 1916, and then there will be a video accompanying it on my channel. So hopefully we'll get that done. We need to discuss it a bit more, but we'll wait and see. Herefordshire Regimental Museum. Shalom. Hello, how are you? Rifle Green. Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day. Kenny, hello everyone. Hello everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. I hope you're all keeping well. As I said, because it is Patrick's Day, I presume some of the lads are out partying and enjoying themselves, and so we might keep the live stream short. And we might do only about a half an hour, 40 minutes. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see who turns up. I know Stan texted me earlier on. He was doing domestic house chores around the house, and he said he might be able to come in tonight. So that's fine. It is what it is, lads. I don't expect you to be here every Friday. Gary Hall, when you see this, because I know you will see this, I will be in contact with you tomorrow in relation to going up to you to sort out that trade that we did. So that's going to be something in the future, because I need that stuff for the Living History UK Festival. And I was cleaning out bits and bobs today, and I came across these, and I had forgotten that Mr. Denny had given them to me, or sent them to me. So can anyone tell me what that is? There you go. It comes in this little pack. I actually forgot I had them. So yeah, that's the quiz of tonight. What is that? There you go. Yeah. Those of you that are interested in that banner, actually, I would recommend. I watched or I listened, because I use Audible a lot, because I just don't have the time to sit down and read a book, whereas I can put in headphones and be doing bits and pieces around the house and listening to books. I listened to a book, Rifle Green, you might be very interested in this, called Charlie 1, and it's about military intelligence in the north of Ireland, and it is very, very good. Very, very good book. It's called Charlie 1. The author is a guy by the name of... one second, now give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Sean Hartnett is the author, and it's called Charlie 1. It's a fantastic book. I couldn't stop listening to it when I got it done, or when I started, and it's about debt and counter surveillance operations and stuff at the end of that banner, which is very, very interesting. But he did work with guys that were there from the 70s all the way through, so it's a very, very interesting book. Does it attach to your ears? And sorry, I missed one. Just put a toddler to bed and cracked open a cold one. Richard Lewis. Oh, I'd love to be doing that right now. I might get a chance to in a while. I might get a chance to sit down and have a few beers. Does it attach to your ears and provide a target on your forehead? Not quite. So this is the quiz tonight. Can anyone tell me what this is? So it's got two little pieces of string on a reflector disc. It's actually metal. I think it's metal. Feels like metal anyway. In the middle, and it comes on this little pouch. So yeah. And we're not 100% sure what um, a unit with three initials use these for, but we are pretty certain. So if people can figure out what it is, I'll let you know, um, and I'll tell you what we think were used for. Airborne light. It's an airborne reflector. It's not an airborne light. It's an airborne reflector. So they would have had it on their helmet or on their weapon or something when they were parachuting till the ground. Now, the SAS in North Africa um, and in Europe got their hands on a lot of these. And if you read into Sabu 70 and those missions in North Europe, just after D-Day, this was on the packing list to carry. And what we reckon it's for is to mark entry points and exit points for when they were doing raids. Like you'd hang it on a piece of barbed wire fence or a hole that you'd made in a fence. So you'd hang it so you'd know that that's the entry um, for the guys coming behind you. So yeah, so there you go. Little reflector disc. I find these little things interesting. These small little items that they all have a history. They all have a history. They were all used for certain things. Richard Lewis. Is that thing identifying for yourself on the battlefield? Yeah, it is. It's pretty much. It's for identifying safe routes. That from what we can find out, what the SAS were using it for. They were using it to mark safe routes, safe entries in fences and stuff like that when they were doing raids and things like that. So yeah, so it is very interesting. Um, my MRT, God evening. I presume that's good evening. Good evening to you all. The U.S. Army field phone radio nerd from Sweden is here. Oh, well, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Is it a beast? Is it a bob? Is it a bob? Is it in bob? I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Give me 2 seconds. No, I'm back. Um, is it on Band of Brothers? I think so. I think they do actually. You do see one or two of them wearing them, but I remember off the top of my head. I was actually speaking of TV series again and stuff like that. Why is my camera shaking all over the place? Speaking of or TV series and things like that, I've started watching Rogue Heroes again for probably the third time. Um, I have started watching that again for the third time. Um, so yeah, it's crazy how like to get inspiration or to just turn off for a while, you sit down and you rewatch these things, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm going rewatching Rogue Heroes and probably take me the weekend to do it if I can. If I can, so um, the Captain Winters Normandy scene. I probably did. I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head whether he did or he didn't. Oh, my throat's very dry already. I can't remember. Maybe I must look it up. John Boblin Berlin is a nice series about. Sure. Yeah, I've like. What was the other movie that I watched the other night? And it's a fantastic movie, and it doesn't get much recognition. Is Greyhound. Tom Hanks's Greyhound, which is about a frigate crossing the ditch in the Atlantic, doing the Atlantic convoys. It's fantastic, fantastically shot, fantastic special effects in it. Acting is superb in it. And those type of films don't get as much recognition. I don't know much about military, or sorry, I do know a bit about military kit and stuff like that, but I don't know much about naval kit, so I couldn't tell you how accurate their kit is. But from research and reading that I've done into the actual movie, it seems to be fairly bang on. They seem to be happy enough with it. But like when you look at all Tom Hanks's stuff, uh, Spielberg as well. Spielberg was involved. Like Spielberg was it Spielberg that did Platoon as well as is he an ex Vietnam veteran? I can't remember. Um, but like definitely Tom Hanks and Spielberg when they make the likes of Band of Brothers, um, the Pacific, Greyhound, they do the research. They do. They're very from what I know. Like I do have a small United States Marine Pacific collection, and it's hard for me even on the Pacific. Now there are incorrect or small tiny little incorrections, but the vast majority of their series are uniform, kit, um, time frame, things like that. They're all correct. I can't wait to see this new one they're making about the 8th Air Force flying out of England, doing the bombing raids in North Europe. That's going to be fantastic. Uh, from what I know about it and from what I've seen about it, um, and you have the companies or the people that put those massive. No, I don't know what the budget of Rogue Heroes were, but like they put all this effort, all this time and effort into fine, tiny little details, like those little tags on the back of their helmets and stuff like that. Um, Simple things. I can remember watching the documentary later on where the veterans were talking, and I think it was Bill Garnier said he used to carry a book or he carried a book or something like that before all the way through from Normandy all the way up until Bastogne when he got injured, and he carried that book, and the actor that played him carried the book, even though you don't see it in the movie, but he carried the book, um, because Bastogne or not Bastogne because Bill Garnier used to carry the book just for extra authenticity. Like when you go to that detail, it's unbelievable. And then you look at the other side then of Rogue Heroes. Rogue Heroes is good for entertainment, but historically and accurately, very lacking. A lot of it is lacking. Wrong cap badges, like simple little things that don't cost a fortune, like wearing Queen's Crown cap badges rather than King's Crown cap badges, wearing equipment that hadn't been even issued at that stage. Um, it's there's just so much. I just don't understand how film companies can get things so wrong sometimes. It's absolutely bloody mad. Um, it's absolutely bloody crazy how they can get things so crazy. Oh, Dad. 1 second. Dad. Oh, sorry for the interruption again there. But I'm back. Uh, no, not Spielberg. Did Spielberg not make? Sorry, Spielberg wasn't in Vietnam. What was his name? I can't think of his name. Kenny Rebel, Oliver Stone was in Vietnam. Ah, there we go. So it was Oliver Stone. Kenny Rebel, Oliver Stone did Platoon, very good. Paddy Mann carried 2 books. Yes, he did. A book of poetry, if I believe, was one. You'll have to remind me of the other one, Danny. I can't remember. A book of poetry was one. I can't remember what the other one was. He used to like listening to traditional Irish music as well. Believe it or not, Paddy Main, when they had downtime on their raids and stuff in the desert, he used to like listening to traditional Irish music. He had a favorite as well. I can't actually remember what his favorite was, but he did have a favorite. Rio 1960 trucks in SAS Rogue Heroes was indeed crazy. Yeah, yeah. They had Mercedes Benz trucks as well that were wrong. Things like that. I even think they had um, the car. I can't remember. There was a specific name on the car that Sterling used, but I think that was even wrong as well, if I remember correctly. Um, which is a famous car that, like the car that Sterling used, he had it specially converted and did bits and bobs to it to make it look like a German staff car, and yeah, it's not correct as far as I remember. Millage Collectibles, hello. Reillumination markers due to the radioactive converter tree may be worn by one person identifying without causing harm. One box of 24 must not be carried by one person for over 8 hours in any one day. Ah, it's very interesting. Didn't know that now. Very, very good. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I've only got one. And it's in here most of the time. What if they make a series about the Gross Deutschland division about only elite German soldiers? How cool would that be? There are some German movies made. Stalingrad was one. Very, very good movie just from the German side about Stalingrad. Um, trying to think of other German movies. There's been a few German movies. There was one. Oh, it was a series. It was about two brothers. Um, one fella became disillusioned with the war, and the other fella sort of just did what he had to do to survive the war. I can't think of it. But yeah, there are a few good series from the German side of you as well. Um, Other Men's Flowers, collection of poetry uh, compiled by Field Marshal Wavell, Spanish Farm, a World War One story by R.H. Morton. Yeah, they're the two books that the Thank You Denny that Paddy Mayne carried, and I cannot for the life of me remember his favourite song, but I know he used to listen to it. He was big into traditional songs as well. Cross of Iron, I mean. No, it wasn't Cross of Iron. Was it Cross of Iron? No, Cross of Iron was. That's another movie from the German side. Um, Stalingrad. It's a German movie actually with subtitles, so you can get an English copy of it. Cross of Iron. I forgot about that one, but this one I can't think of. It's a TV series. It's not that long. It's out in the mid 2000s or 2021, 2022, something like that. Maybe even a bit earlier. About two brothers. Um, I can't think of the name of it now. There was another good one about the guys that ended up, the Japanese guys. Were they Japanese or Chinese? Can't remember. That ended up on the Normandy beaches, which is very, very interesting. Um, Poem is Rendezvous. Yeah, Rendezvous was very, very good actually. It's very, very famous. That was actually used as well in, was it Yeats that wrote Rendezvous? Um, if I remember correctly, didn't they say a verse of it in the Memphis Belle? Um, the guy said it from Rendezvous, I think. I think it was. Um, Generation War. It could have been Generation War. I know there was another one. There was another TV series about the Afghan or the Iraq invasion called Generation Kill. It's a very, very good series as well. Anyway, AK Usher Mutter Unser Foster. Um, yeah, so there are good movies out there about the conflicts, I suppose. Look at the latest 1917, All Quiet on the Western Front, German point of view from the First World War, remake from the 80s, when they did from the guy from Little House on the Prairie made it, and then that was an actual remake from the 40s, 50s, 40s, I think, was the actual original, and that's all based on a book as well. All Quiet on the Western Front. You do have movies from the, shall we say, the Axis side. Letters from Iwo Jima, about the Japanese in Guadalcanal, not Guadalcanal. Oh, where there is a flag. My Jesus, my brain is very bad tonight. It'll come to me now in a second. I can see him raising the flag. Oh. John Basilone was killed on it. Iwo Jima. Night of the Generals is from the German viewpoint. Yeah, there's actually a good movie as well. It's about a serial killer. He means a German. He's German field police, Groves police, or whatever, however they pronounce it, and he's tracking a serial killer during the bombing campaign by the Allies and stuff like that. And I think it's actually based on a true story as well. But yeah, that's a good movie. I can't think of the name of that one either. Yeah. There was actually a very good documentary on BBC there, not so long ago, about murders during the Blitz, murders during the Second World War, because like everyone thinks of the Blitz spirit and pull together and all that type of stuff, but obviously there was the criminal element still floating around. Plus, you had a massive influx of soldiers coming into England, so not everybody was, shall we say, there for the greater good of people. An awful lot. Some guys were there for mischief. Some guys did cause mischief. Night of the Generals. O'Toole played the German Mad General very well. What kind of medals and decorations did Lord Mountbatten have? I'm not sure. If Danny's still there, he might be able to answer that question, but I don't know. I don't know what decorations and stuff Mountbatten had. Field running does have non-radioactive paint. It remains inactive and only glows when light hits it from a torture vehicles. It does not need to glow all the time. Okay. I'm here. Stan is here. Stan has arrived. Stan is in the building. We're just talking about movies and general chit chat, really, Stan. As I was saying, my week hasn't been up to much. I did have one or two bids on stuff on eBay, but I lost them. I wasn't going. They were gone over budget. So look, it is what it is. It's part of the game, I suppose. And the other side of it is I was prepping for going to England in April 22nd, 23rd for the Living History UK Festival. I'm also doing a podcast for the Living History UK podcast. It's called The Old Contemptibles. It's on Spotify. No, sorry, it's not called The Old Contemptibles anymore. It's Living History UK. Yeah, it's the Living History UK Spotify podcast. I'm doing one on the 1916 Rising, and then accompanying that at Easter weekend, there will be a video on my channel coming up on the the 1916 Rise. So there you go. There's collectibles. Isn't it dangerous for if you click the? I don't know. I wouldn't go around. I'm here. Can you tell Danny what decorations Lord Mountbatten had? It was a question. I don't know what he had, but somebody asked a question. The Blitz Witch and the story of HMS Oak is good. Is that a movie or a story? I don't know that one. Kenny saying hello to Stan, Military Collectibles. You're right. 1974. Why would you want to? Exactly. Why would you want to lick it? I don't know. Hitler's SS 1985 was a very good mini-series about two brothers in a German war machine on YouTube. I'm not fond of the German SS stuff. If I'm quite honest, I try to stay away from the SS stuff. I've just bought an M26 Swedish helmet and I will do a video on it. Very confusing. Oh, okay. Look forward to seeing that. Current Peter, what type of radios do the Irish Army use to communicate in around 1979? The Garda cars had POE and Motorola's. Paramilitaries used EU 40s. They had 60 or 77 sets, which is basically they had Prick 6s, PRC 6s. They had 77 sets, the Vietnam radio. Everyone remembers that. They had that. In their cars, then they had pretty much 77 sets, but I can't remember their designation. It was a base station 77 set, rather than a man pack, and they used that all the way up into the 90s, and then they got the Singars. I remember actually us being sent to the ranges when I was in the PDF with 77 sets. So you'd have a 77 set in the butts, you'd have a 77 set on the firing point, and hopefully you had connection between the two of them. Then we got Klansman's. Was it a Klansman? It was a Klansman. It was a strap that fit around your head like a bandana with a green strap over the top of it, and you'd fit to one ear. It was like a small little radio pack as well. I think we used to wear them on cash escorts as well, if I remember. We had them. We had Krugers, which was another radio. I think they had the Krugers in the 70s as well. Krugers was like a little handheld walkie-talkie, and you had a big, and you'd hear it going when the battery was dying on it. It was like start clicking at you. Yeah, so we had them. We actually used 77 sets in the Lebanon as well. We didn't even use Singars in the Lebanon, if I remember. Yeah, so hope that answers your question. Also, you got a load of kit from a fellow at work. Oh, sorry, Stan. Also got a load of kit from a fellow at work. It was all going to the skip. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Earl Mountbatten of Burma. Hang on a second. Danny's lashing us here with information. Earl Mountbatten of Burma had nearly everything but the VC. A legend. Ah, so he was a highly decorated dude. Stan, hello, Kenny. Fisher Price radios. We didn't have Fisher Price radios. We might as well have had Fisher Price radios, rather than the 77 set some days away. Because it was like it was a 2 foot whip, 2 foot, 3 foot whip, whatever it is. I have one of them there actually. And because the butts was obviously lower than the firing point, there was no signal, so you'd have to put up the big bloody one, and lads would be messing. They'd shoot the aerials. Not always wasn't exactly the correct thing to do, but it did happen. I remember seeing it once or twice. I can remember actually having field phones as well. They'd run a load of cable from the firing point to the butts, and you crank this handle and pick up the phone. Hello. Yeah, I do remember field phones as well. Actually, been at the ranges. Stan, hello everyone. Danny or Terry Savalas is asking Hereford Regimental Museums. Is Lord Mountbatten's uniform available to view anywhere? I presume it would be. If you googled his photos, you would see him. Just reading about Michael Collins. Very, very interesting dude, Michael Collins. A lot of people think Ireland would be a lot different if Michael Collins hadn't been killed during the Civil War. Very, very interesting dude, Michael Collins. Great, great. Try and research him as much as you can, Stan. Um, he's a he's a fascinating character. Fascinating character. David, hello. Just had a glass or two of black stuff. Very good. Patrick's weekend. You're allowed more than one or two glasses. Only German bits I am looking to buy are combat awards and medals. Also, living history kit for second SS to denote the Jeep with any suggestions for a good M40 or M42 and an oak leaf cover, chaps. Uh, I don't know who's Jim Tim might be your German guy if he's around. I don't know who else would know about German stuff. If any of you can help out Danny, guys, or Herefordshire Regimental Museums, please answer that question for him. David's stuff. Yes, Mountbatten's uniform and awards are visible online. Stan, I'm having a few DDRTs. You better be. It's Patrick's weekend. Military memorabilia. Hello, how are you? Do I follow you? Military memorabilia? I can't remember if I do. David. Hello, guys. Hello. David actually might know about German camouflage. Perfect Regimental Museums. Not in a museum. A big shame. Mountbatten stuff would probably be in. Was going to be in any museum. It would be in one of the royal museums. Yeah. Don't think it would be in any museum bar a royal museum. Has himself been enjoying himself. I haven't had a drop to touch yet today. I've been so busy with family stuff that I haven't actually touched anything. I might have a beer or two now before I go to bed. Do you also have British street names for your battle dress in your collection? Do you also have British street names for your battle dress in your collection? I'm not sure what you mean by street names now, Terry. You have patterns, so you would have the austerity pattern, you'd have battle dress surge. Going to off banner, you would have 68 pattern, 60 pattern, you'd have 84 pattern, soldier 95 pattern. So I'm not sure what you mean by street names. Military Collectibles is the man. He actually is. If any of you is Military Collectibles there would know about the best place to pick a helmet cover. Hello, David. Is the man? Hang on a second. Now. We're flying through the comments tonight, lads. Silham Stein is the man of all things or German World War II. Actually, yeah, he would be the person to. Then he ask Military Collectibles there. Even if he probably know where there's a good repo manufacturer of them. Jim Timber, hello, my dear friends. Hello, Mr. Timbers. How are you? David, are you just giving me bread? Are you? You were just giving me a breed. I'm not sure who that's aimed at, David. Jim Timber, safety is on Kenny. Yeah, don't try not to block Kenny again, lads. Jim Timber, Terry, Steel Helmet Stan, did your Fokker Wolf 109 scale model come from a war movie, The Last Drop? It's class, actually. If any of you haven't seen Stan's video on the plane that he got, you need to go do it. How do you know if barrette pins are restruck? Barrette pins are restruck. If you mean cap badges, books, and more books, research. You know by the quality. You know by the quality of a cap badge if it's a restruck or if it's an original. Now, see, the thing about originals is there's not really a such thing because soldiers will private purchase them. When you're going over, I know guys that were going overseas. They'd go into the canteen and they'd buy a handful of cap badges, to swap with guys from other units and guys from other countries. So it's very, very difficult. The World War II ones, the British ones, you have the slider on it with the manufacturer's name on it, so you can tell those. King's Crown is one we'll be able to tell, but you can tell by the quality of it whether it's a fake or a real one, if that's what you mean. The fakes are like a softer metal, and there's a lot of slag still left on them. They don't look clean compared to the original ones. So yeah, I hope that helps. Um, my knowledge of the runes is limited. I have none. Yeah, Danny, Military Collectibles, send him a message about who would get the where you would get the good reproduction of what you're looking for. Chase Wallace. Street name slang for shoulder titles. Oh no, I can't remember what the question was. The British did have shoulder titles, epaulette titles. The Irish had them as well. Um, the Irish Army does have shoulder titles for like Rangers. They wear a little scroll. It's in Irish Fignog look, but it looks the same as the American Ranger tab. Um, if it's red, if there's a red around the edge, means he's served in the regiment or in the unit or in the Army Ranger Wing. And if it's just the Ranger patch, it means he's past selection, but he's never served in the unit. You used to have FCA shoulder title in the Irish Army, which was for the reserve. The Navy had one as well, on Sluamurra, which is the Naval Reserve. But after that, I can't remember if anyone else wore shoulder titles. Overseas, all right, you would have 88th or 87th Infantry Battalion. You would have shoulder titles there at that stage. Timber, you absolute rotter. And you first class scuddler. Prob soldier of fortune for the helmet cover. Okay. Jim Timber, hey Stan, Dave, I'm enjoying your video, Stan, on the plane. It's cool, isn't it? Terry Savalas 97, unsure of. I've not researched it yet. I will definitely have a look. If Terry Savalas, if a World War II, World War One helmet is heavily used salty, do you like it better than a mint condition helmet? They all have a story. They all have a story to tell. I have ones in good condition. I don't have anything in relic condition because I just don't know how, unless I physically was there when somebody dug it up, because I do know of an individual who goes in Holland, who is in Holland, and he is in Poland, and another guy in Poland that bury stuff every year. So they go to shows, dig it up, try and sell it. If they don't sell it, they go back and rebury it in their gardens and try and sell it again. So yeah, so those guy, but no, if it's good, I like to collect stuff in good condition. Not doesn't have to be mint condition. I do have stuff that is mint condition in my collection, but no, it doesn't have to be. Once in good condition. I don't like relics. Not everyone. It's not my thing. Other guys, Military Collectibles has lots of relics in his collection, and they're quite interesting. And I do understand why people want to collect them. Personally, myself, I just don't know enough about them to collect them. So there you go. Timber, you swine. Trace Valley, Steel and Stan. Okay, nice movie anyway. Military Collectibles. Do bear in mind though, for a lot of years since fake badges have been fitted with genuine sliders, so a name on the slider is no guarantee that the cap badge is genuine. Yeah, it's a minefield. It's literally research, and more research. Repro badges have soft metal alloys. Yeah, they do. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them do. Um, Jim Timber, haha. I've been practicing the cod in front of the mirror. Louise Phillips is the impersonation. Same Stan, I reckon you've got the job, I say, etc., etc. Or sport. Relic. Old rust. No, I can see why people collect them. I just don't. I just don't collect them. I think that salty things are nicer because you then see what they have been through. Sometimes, like there's, I get what you're saying, Terry. Like there's relic condition, which is, as they have said, it's rust. You have battle damaged helmets and items and stuff like that. Then you have the regular collections of stuff. So it depends on what you're into. Uh, Stan actually put something teardrop, dragon's teardrop or crocodile teardrop or tiger's teardrop or something. He's a guy on YouTube. Stan actually put me that direction. He does massive research and stuff. The last one I've seen of his is an Adrian helmet that has bullet marks down the side of it, and he actually was able to pinpoint the individual that owned that helmet. Uh, so yeah, so he's a very very good guy. Very good YouTube channel. I can't remember. Somebody, Stan, if you're there, put up the name of it. I can't remember what it is. um, military, military memorabilia. Any advice on displaying berets? Um, Foam heads is a good one. Glass heads is another one. You can get them. Wish. There are other companies out there, Amazon Prime, things like that, where you can buy these foam heads in quantity. Um, you can also get like glass model display units that you put over to keep dust and keep them clean and stuff like that. I've also seen them put into picture frames. There's lots and lots of ways of displaying them. I have one on a mannequin there actually. My hats I just normally put on hooks on the wall. I do have a shelf here with helmets and stuff in it, but like soft hats, it's hooks on the walls. Yeah, so there are ways of doing it. But berets, when I do display berets, it's normally on foam heads or things like that. Andrew Johnson, help! I've been kidnapped. I just escaped from Fozzie's house. Oh my god! I hope you're okay. Steelham Managed Collectibles. Scary thing is that a lot of old repos are actually quite old. So hard to sort out, especially for me as an intermediate collector. Yeah, like it's research. Like I wouldn't say I'm a experienced collector. I'd be a lot more experienced in other things than I would be on other items. Um, I've been caught with stuff that I'm supposedly an expert on, or I know a lot about. So yeah, so it does happen. It does happen. Um, Hi Andrew, bro. Oh, the crocodile tear, Stan. Thanks very much. That's still edited in the video on the Adrian helmet, which is a very very good video. Go look it up. Military collectibles. The problem with relics is the good stuff has long since gone into collections, leaving virtual scrap available. Yeah, yeah. Andrew Johnson. Hoots, man. I don't know what happened there. Somebody message deleted by stealing him a Stan. Oh, Stan's firing warning shots. Um, I prefer to see a bit of this coloured uniform in a mint condition uniform. After 80 years, there's some look. I think. Yeah. Uniforms is a different thing altogether. About displaying them and collecting them and things like that, you could go way down still. Still saw a relic Fushy high helmet sale at Stoners for several grand. Ooh, I can't remember seeing that one. Don't remember seeing that helmet. I do remember actually. One thing that stuck in my mind from Stoneleigh was the amount of SAS daggers, Luftwaffe daggers, and things like that. They seem to be everywhere. Every stall that I looked at seemed to have one of them, or multiples. Um, I actually made a joke to Chuckles and Danny. It felt like that there was more SA and SS daggers at Stoneleigh than one there was in the SA and SS. Um, there, I believe, can be are a lot. There's a lot of fakes of them going around the place as well. So yeah, but um, yeah, that's one thing I do remember from my hit from Stoneleigh was the amount of daggers that were going around. German World War Two daggers. Eliho is King Charles from England. Ali is King Charles from England. I don't know what that's about. Um, Military collectibles to see and understand. Yep, the British badges have been reproduced since the Victorian era. Even the repo from the 1970s is now an old badge. Yeah, I do see that. Military collectibles. Oh, sorry, Stan. I had a comment on my channel saying I was boring bastard who talks stuff. Bloody hell. You're not boring, Stan. You, if anything at all, you are probably one of the few of us that aren't boring. Uh, excuse me. The word military collectibles. Uh, still understand. We're all, this is from military collectibles to still understand. We're all boring bastards who talk shit. Not bad for a bloke in a pub talking about poetry, pottery, and birds. Yeah. Tracy Wallace, why are the prices at regimentals militaria too high? I would not say they're too high. Um, the thing about regimentals and the things about other shops like that are they have been around for a long, long, long time, and they know the prices of stuff, and the stuff that they have is genuine because I know for regimentals they have a lifetime guarantee on their stuff. That if you find out it isn't genuine or isn't authentic, they will take it back, no questions asked. And it's with the German stuff and the British stuff and things like that. It's accessibility now. A lot of it is in collections. Um, a lot of the stuff is rare, and it's only going to get more and more expensive year by year by year. Take Jeeps, like I'm trying to save for a Jeep at the minute. Um, I remember when I started first getting into the hobby, you could buy World War Two Jeeps for £7,000, 8,000. Now they're 20, 30, 40,000. Depends on how much work that's been on them. So yeah, so everything goes up in price. Everything goes up in price. Up banner stuff that I used to start collecting, Mark IV helmets and things like that. You pick them up for 20, 10, £20, 10, €20 at shows. Um, car boot sales not a problem. Find a Mark IV ride helmet now for under £200. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Um, Jim Timber, hello, CJ, David, down good gunnery stand. Or damn good gunnery stand. I don't know what he said. I didn't get to see what he said before Stan had him obliterated. Um, because he pays high prices to get them, he had a German para helmet and sold it for 16,000 quid. Ooh. Um, King Charles III was a para. Hats off to Peachy. I think King Charles was just the cap or the figurehead colonel. I don't think he passed P Company and stuff like that to classify himself as a paratrooper. He was probably their honorary colonel, but I don't. I'm not sure if he passed P Company. And you can only if you can only be a para if you pass P Company. So yeah. So I don't know. I do know little interesting fact for you guys. Tom Hardy, the actor, he was actually a reserve Royal Marine Commando and has passed commando training. So there you go. I don't know if any of you have known that. And I believe he is actually a colonel or a captain or something like that now in the Royal Marines. So there you go. Military collectibles in Bavarian and Berlin pubs. I have come across a German veteran with Nazi decorations on his jacket. Yeah, I can remember here around November 11th, always every year, you would see guys in pubs with medals on them. French Foreign Legion medals, especially for my area, for some reason. Um, Irish medals, British medals, American medals. You would see them. You do see guys with wearing their decorations out every now and again. Military collectibles, Jim Timber 2, hi Jimbo, King Para. I don't actually think I don't think he was actually a qualified para, guys. But I don't know, maybe not. Uh, I've missed a load of stuff, have I? Still have a stamina club. Yes, indeed. I used to be a rugby player, rugby board, 100%. But at least we can invite myself now, and I'm boring about militaria. Don't think you're boring, Stan. Herefordshire Regimental Museum's lifetime money back guarantee with regimentals. Yes, exactly. There is a lifetime money back guarantee with them. Dave is to Stan. Stan is not boring. His headgear bumps the camera, but otherwise it makes the video. I think it's funny when he has his little clicker. I don't know what it is. I get a giggle out of it every time when he does it. And he tries to. It's like something out of. Do you remember that comedian, unfortunately, that died on the stage? Just like that. With the fez on. Oh, why am I so bad with names tonight? But I think it's like that. It's like Stan with his little clicker. No, it's not working. I get a kick out of that every time he tries to do it. Miniature collectibles to Terry Savalas, 1974. Yep, the German stuff may not been an open sale in Germany or France, but it was there. Yeah, I think Germans have very very strict laws in relation to selling German World War II militaria, if I remember. I think they do have very very strict laws. Using his remote is the best bit of Stan's videos. Yeah, he's very funny. He tries to turn off the videos and it's click click. Herefordshire Regimental Museums. Occasionally, he has fake stuff for sale, just like that SS helmet that was discussed at Military Review on YouTube was a dirty trick. I didn't see that one. Can't remember seeing that one. Rugby is the sport of gentlemen and Stanley Oliver Henley. You know I'm kidding. So what's the one? There's an Irish saying: rugby is a gentleman's sport or a thug sport played by gentlemen, and soccer is a gentleman's sport played by thugs. So there you go. Herefordshire Regimental Museum's friend of mine in the house clearance game said it's the wrong generation dying. Nothing of historic interest, sadly. Yeah, unfortunately, there's not very few Um, World War II veterans left in the world. I know of the originals, there's only one. SAS originals, there's only one left. The next few years, lads, I'd say we'll be seeing another state funeral like we'd seen for Harry Patches, who was the last combat veteran of the First World War. He wasn't the last veteran. I do believe he was the last combat veteran, but I don't think he was the last veteran. So there you go. Still understand Cheers, Dave. Yes, headgear is always a problem. Headgear is always a problem for me. Charles did do P Company. Oh, fair play to him. Did he pass it? Um, the cycle helmet turns heads and the weather vanes. Uh, Steel Hammer Stand, 2 military collectibles. I had heard that regimentals had sold a German paratrooper helmet for 17k. That's a lot of dosh. That's a hell of a lot of dosh. Charles had a red beret on, was in Arnhem for a memorial cemetery. Just because somebody wears the maroon beret does not mean that they're a paratrooper. Their wings is the actual qualification to say they're a paratrooper. Anybody in 16th Air Assault is allowed wear the maroon beret. Anyone attached to the SAS is allowed wear the sand beret. You don't have to be a badged member to just wear that beret. The only ones that can wear the badge or wear the beret with in the British Army, and you know that their commandos are the Royal Marine Commandos. Everybody in the Royal Marines, doctors, medicals, engineers, artilleries, even their chaplains, have to pass the commando training before they get the green beret. The maroon beret is different. The maroon beret states that you're part of 16th Air Assault. It does not state that you're a paratrooper. So there you go. Um, there was Charles did 7 jumps, but did not complete P Company. Oh, okay. David. Military collector will still have a stance then. Yep, he did. Sold it pretty quick. Terry Soares. Too much money for such a helmet. Insanely high prices. The prices of stuff has gone. Like people ask me like, oh, how much is that worth? It's as much as worth as somebody will pay for it. If that makes sense. Jim Timber, I can imagine Stan has a battle with that remote. Mine keeps switching on my neighbours. Oh God, Jim. Uh, nobody wears my welding string after me. Timber Stan. Jim Timber, you can send. Uh, Military collectibles, yes, that's a lot of money. I can't even go there. Look, money. Some people like German collectors. Believe it or not, there's an awful lot of high-end German collectors out there that, for some reason, money doesn't seem to be a thing. Mel Brooks is still alive, a World War II veteran. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's none left. There's very, very few of them left, but I'm not saying there's none left. There are veterans still left. Is a German World War II veteran still alive? Kessering is a German World War II still veteran alive. Military still understand. A mate of mine had 5 German para helmets, sold 2 to regimentals, and found his house to fund his house purchase. He has only 3 left. Holy crap! Um, I wear a maroon beret to the local shops every time I. Everyone coming to the festival. I don't know, lads. If you are in Lancashire, I'm not sure. I don't know Saxonland very, very good. But go check out Living History UK Festival on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that, and check out their links. There's a festival that I will be at in April 22nd and 23rd. And if you're nearby, come and say hello. We will all be there. There's a lot of TikTok personalities and stuff going to be at it. So come and say hello if you are around the place. Roger Moore. was the king. He was the king, actually. John, do you have any buttons with swap? I don't. I have very, very limited German World War II stuff. Like the auction prices people moan at. Remember, there was always an underbidder who wanted it too. Yeah, exactly. There's all stuff will go for as much as people will spend. So it's a different one. It's a crazy one. It's only worth what you think it's worth. Exactly. That's a good statement, Dave. It is only worth what you think it's worth. Trace Wallace, he was an awesome wit as well, greatest actor. Old Spec, hello, how are you? Oh, she couldn't. Grant, all good. Let me from Mortarhead. Had some serious ruin stuff. Yeah. There's another famous actor as well that collects a lot of German stuff. Um, Moira Furnace, 22nd and 23rd of April, which is, I have no idea where Moira Furnace is. I will be just going by SatNav, but I think it's in Leicestershire, Lancashire. I'm not sure. Still understand odd thing regarding paratroopers. I was an army cadet for 18 months or so. We were para cadets. So we had black berets with para cap badges. I wish I had it now. Yeah, there is a Royal Marine cadet force as well that they wear the cadet in or Marine in training beret. They don't actually wear the green beret. Jim Timber, I can see Mr. Moore from Escape from Antioch, and we went to the Greek ladies for pleasure. Current evening. Military collectibles. With the helmets he got left, he could build an extension or move or buy a ferret armored car. Hey, old spec. Jim Timber, TikTok is new T-tube. I'm so old I can't work half of this out now. Yeah, I don't do much on. I don't have any account on TikTok. Well, I do have account on TikTok, but I don't put up videos on TikTok. Oh, everything I do is on YouTube. Kenny Rebel, I still have my black para beret with badge stand. Ah, cool. Herefordshire Regimental Museums, Ukraine are paying more than any collector for ferrets nowadays. Yeah, they're mad after snatches, Land Rovers, any type of armoured cars. I do believe there was a Saracen has been seen in Ukraine somewhere, which wouldn't surprise me. Father Ted has given a huge collection of from another priest in the show. Yeah, he was actually. I can't remember. Commander recruits have a red square behind cap edge to donate, not past. It's actually goes back to their pre World War II days, and it's actually an oval. It's the bottom is flat, but the top is an oval. So there you go. Ukrainian have about 100 Saxons. Oh, spec, stand the man. I have a yellow para beret, Kenny. It's one I wore when I ran the army. TikTok is cancelled. Right, guys. So we've been on an hour. It's time to head off and enjoy my Patrick's night. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. And I will see you all same time, same channel next weekend. In a second, I will just have a quick look at these questions. I want to go to TED Fest. TED Fest is fantastic. It's on 2 weekends ago. It was on. I'm going to bring Danny to it actually. TED Fest, which is very, very cool. Father TED Fest. That's awesome, Kenny. I really wish I had mine. Good stuff, old cadets. Then I found rugby, so I went towards that. Terry Savalas, what's on the buckle of the eagle has landed? Belt buckle's worth. It's so Dan by David back. So I think some of the kit in the eagle has landed isn't exactly correct. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, yes, yes. We will go to TED Fest. Nice show. No problem, guys. Take care. Take care, everyone. I hope you all well, and I will see you same time, same place, usual place. Here next week, Friday, 8 o'clock. Enjoy. Have a good, safe one.